Sukihantu! Welcome to our very special Parents' Day edition of the Sunday Dharma Talk organized by Shah Alam Buddhist Society. Wishing all of you, dear brothers and sisters of the Dharma who are tuning in via YouTube or watching us on Facebook, a blessed and wonderful morning. My name is Karen and I am absolutely delighted to be your host for today. So we will all start first with some morning puja by chanting together as a mark of respect for the great compassion and wisdom of the Buddha and to reaffirm our faith in the three jewels. So I invite all of us to put our hands together as we chant along with the guidance of the puja video.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Pānātipātā vīramani sikkāpadang samādhiyāmi. Adinādānā vīramani sikkāpadang samādhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkāpadang samādhiyāmi. Musāvādā vīramani sikkāpadang samādhiyāmi. Suramēraya majjapamā dattānā vīramani sikkāpadang samādhiyāmi. Itipiso bhagavā arahang sammā sambuddho viññācarena sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasārati sattā deva manusānam buddho bhagavāti. Svākkāto bhagavata dhammo sandintiko akāliko ehi passiko opanayiko paccattam veditammo viññūhīti. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujjopatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ñāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Sāmīcipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho යතිරං චන්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුංගලා ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුන්තරං පුඤ්ඤං කෙන්තං ලෝකස්සාති සාදු සාදු සාදු.
Welcome back to this Sunday Dharma talk on post-pandemic parenting, moving forward while fostering connections. As we step into the post-pandemic world, we experience children and young adults easing back into their regular routines and attending schools physically. Parents are more and more required to return back to work physically as well. So certainly the dynamics between parents and their children are set to change again. Our objective today is to have an interactive and insightful discussion as to how parents can unfold their children's potential, manage stress, and at the same time be a better parent. So we are grateful to have not just one, not just two, but three distinguished speakers with us on this very blessed morning. We will have Venerable Nyaninda, who will share with us about the important Dharma in parenting. Brother Mitra, who is a trainer, who will be sharing about proactive parenting principles and how he applies them in the family as a father. Sis Mian will also then be sharing the challenges faced by working parents in the post-pandemic era. So you will hear from all three speakers respectively first, and we will then come gather again together for an interactive and engaging live Q&A session. So as you are hearing the speakers, feel free to type your questions, comments, or thoughts in the chat on YouTube or Facebook. We will try to address as many of your questions as possible. So welcome, everybody. Before we start with the chat, I thought it would be nice to hear from the audience as well. When you hear about post-pandemic parenting, what is the one word, just one word that comes to your mind when you hear about post-pandemic parenting? Feel free to share on the group chat. And if you haven't tagged or shared about the video to other friends who you think this might benefit, feel free to tag and share the video as well. Now, without further ado, I will invite the Honorable Bhante Nyaninda, our esteemed teacher and guest speaker for today. Of course, let me introduce him first. Bhante Nyaninda is a graduate in electrical engineering from Sydney University, Australia. He received his higher ordination as a bhikkhu under Sada Maramsi Sayadaw in 2004. He has received serious contemplative training under Pak Auk Sayadaw. He finds that studying the original words of the Buddha according to the system of listening, contemplating, meditating has greatly enhanced his understanding and practice of the Dhamma. So we will have Venerable Bhante sharing about the important Dhamma in parenting this morning.
We'll start by paying respect to the Buddha 3 times. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Now, today I will share some of the things that, in my opinion, will be helpful for parenting but not just parenting, actually in life in general. To me, in this modern society, parenting needs to change from preaching and nagging to guiding. Okay, during our generation, parents can preach and tell us what to do. It doesn't work now because everyone, including kids, are being brainwashed to have individual rights. So the only thing we can do is to guide instead of to preach. And to me, guiding means parents and children explore parenting together. It's a journey of discovery, journey of fun. Preaching and nagging means parents know everything. Children just follow what parents tell them to do. It doesn't work because, to me now, kids do not lack knowledge. They have access to internet, access to Mr. Google, and probably they know much more than the parents and much more than the teachers. What I think kids nowadays lack probably is love, peace of mind, how to live according to the universal law, especially the universal law of anicca, impermanence, dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, nature of life, and anatta. I will talk a little bit of anatta. But anatta, a lot of people think it's a very, very difficult subject. But one simple way to understand anatta is that we are not limited to a past self. There is no permanent non-changing entity, which means that we keep changing every moment. If you understand this, then you will not be limited to I'm stupid, I'm careless, I'm ugly, because we keep changing. Your ugly self will change to beautiful self some days. So all this universal law, if the parents can live it, it will help the children to live it. And love to me is very important because just by living in love, the parents living in a place of peace and love, it will help the children to resonate in this energy. And love to me doesn't mean that giving children lots of material things. It means that just being there with them. And that's a lot of love already. And also on love, one thing I would like parents to consider is every time we reprimand the kids, are we coming from a feeling of love, which means that we have this intention that we don't want them to suffer, or is because we don't like what they are doing? There's a big difference between these two, okay? One is you are doing it out of goodness for them. One is out of what benefit yourself. Because you don't like what they are doing, you want to change them so that they do what you like them to do. So consider this the next time you reprimand or scold your kids. Today, I would basically want to emphasize on 3 universal law, or you can call it Dharma, that will be helpful, to me, very helpful in parenting, but also in life in general. But before I describe these 3 universal laws, I want to make a distinction between description and prescription. I'm going to give you 3 descriptions of 3 universal laws. Description means how life works. It is up to you what you want to do. I'm not telling you what you should do or should not do. Prescription means what you should do or should not do. So remember, I'm giving you a description, not a prescription. And human beings love to turn description into prescription. It makes a lot of difference. Description means this is how life works. You explore it. If you really see it, realize it, then you will flow with how life works and your life will be transformed. Prescription is you force yourself to do certain way. Example is fire burns. That's a description. Don't touch fire. That's a prescription. Okay? There is no permanent non-changing entity called self. That's a description. Don't get attached to ego. Let go of your ego. That's a prescription. Okay? Prescription to me, again, like I say, in this modern society, when we are being brainwashed to have individual rights, prescription may be a bit difficult to work because we want to have our own way of doing things. We want to have individual way of doing things. But description is something for us to explore. Okay, so there are three description, especially the first two, to me is very useful. The first one comes from Dhammapada verse 1 and 2. Mano Pubangama Dhamma, Mano Seta, Mano Maya. Mano can be translated as mind or thoughts. Okay, either way it works here. So you can say thoughts precedes all Dhamma. Dhamma is all phenomenon. Everything you experience in life is preceded by your thoughts. Okay, Mano Seta is thoughts or mind is the chief. The last one, Mano Maya, is thoughts create everything, your world. Basically, your whole world is created by thoughts. So basically, all your emotions, all without exception, are a reflection, a mirror image of your thoughts. You are angry or upset not because what your kids did do or didn't do. You are angry because of your thoughts that your kids did not do what you think they should do, or your thoughts that your kid didn't do what you think they should do. So it's all stories made up by your kids. Whether you're upset with your kids, or you're angry with your kids, or you think the kids fail you, and so on, all are your stories. It's not the reality. There is a reality out there, but you only experience your thoughts, which are stories created by you. And this is very important, okay? Because when you see that your stories is not real, you don't have to continue with these stories. But I have to warn you that don't come to the conclusion that thoughts are the problem. Thoughts are not the problem. Thoughts are a tool for us to create our world. The only problem is we take thoughts as the reality. That's the problem. Thoughts are just stories. They're illusion. They are not solid. And also, you don't have to stop thoughts. The minute thoughts arise, it ceases by itself. As long as you don't continue holding on to the thoughts. So if you explore in your life, try anger first. To me, it's the easiest to see. In order for you to continue to be angry, you have to continue to create angry thoughts. Your anger doesn't come from what your kids or other people do or don't do, or say or don't say. Your anger comes from, why my kid do like this? How come they can't be like other people's kids? How come they don't do another way? How come they are not obedient? It comes from all your thoughts. So when you keep exploring, I'm not asking you what you should do or should not do. If you keep exploring, you will see what I keep telling people, that you will see that you are always slapping yourself. When you see that you are slapping yourself, you have a choice to continue slapping or not continue slapping. If you want to continue slapping, it's okay, because you know it's not someone else that's slapping you. The only problem is most of us continue slapping and we keep complaining, why my kid keeps slapping me? Why my kid keep hurting me? But you are slapping yourself. So please explore this. And to me, you will get a lot of joy from seeing this Dharma. And one time, this principle is actually very big in America now. It's called the 3 principles. I won't go into detail, but I just want to give an example of one of the transformational coach who teach this principle in America. Someone interviewed the children and asked, what does she get, the daughter get from this? And the daughter says, after I sort of learned this from my parents, not directly, but indirectly, because the parents always teach us this, I can't get angry with my parents anymore. It's no more fun. Because I know that being upset with my parents comes from my own thoughts. I have to keep creating these upset thoughts. So I can never get upset with my parents anymore. So to me, if we explore and realize this principle, you will transform yourself. You will see that we are creating our own problems. And since you saw that you are creating your own problems, you can choose not to, okay? And can try always to go to the source before the thoughts. Try to go to the space before the thoughts, or space between thoughts. you will feel the tranquility and the peace there. Okay. Next Dharma. This comes from Anguttara Nikaya. Pabasara bhikkhave chitam akantu kehi upaklesehi upakletantiti. And there are more to it, but this is the first part, which basically says our mind is bright and luminous. Later on, there's gas defilement that covered this luminous mind. One way to interpret, I'm not saying the only way, is to say that we have innate natural mental health. As long as we are not lost in our thoughts, our default setting is peace, love, and compassion. They have done a research by Professor Richard Davidson did a research in University of Wisconsin Madison, where they test on babies, kids. Kids have more tendency towards compassion than cruelty. So innately, we have this compassion and love and wisdom inside us if we don't get lost in our thoughts. So what we have to do is trust ourselves that we have this. That means we don't try to think ourselves out of whatever problems we have with our kids, and trust that our kids also have that. If you trust that the kids have this innate wisdom in them, all you got to do is provide this peaceful environment for them to go to the default setting. They would know what to do. They will know what best to do. Similarly, another quick example is one of the transformational coach who also teach this principle. When his daughter was growing up, one time his daughter just want to eat snack only, Mars bar snack, because she got brainwashed that that's very healthy. For Malaysian parents, the minute they saw this, they'll say, no, don't do this. It doesn't work. What this transformational coach did was, when he heard the daughter saying, this is the way she wants, his response is, oh, that's healthy, is it? Maybe you should try 1 week just eating Mars bar only and see how it goes. Children, when they explore, they would fine-tune themselves. They will find their way. They like to experience themselves. To me, up to a certain limit, we can trust that they have the wisdom to be able to find the best things they can. Okay. And also, I just want to keep reminding about thoughts, that thoughts arise and pass away immediately. You don't have to stop thoughts. It's like a car. If you want to stop the car, you don't have to press the brake. You can press the accelerator and you will stop. Okay. And now, the third principle, which is related to the first two, is if we are able to, okay, again, this sounds like a prescription. It's not, it's a description. If you are able to accept what is happening now, the reality, which is the reality, you have no choice, which means accepting whatever behavior that your kids have now, or whatever character your kids brought with them from many lives, then we can only do what is yet to happen, or we can produce what is yet to happen. First, you've got to accept the current reality, because the current reality comes from many causes and conditions. Your kids are a certain character comes because of many, many different causes and conditions. So you can only accept the reality now, and from there, you can work from there. Similarly, a good example is if it's raining now and you keep complaining, why is it raining? How come it's raining when I want to go out picnic? It's not going to solve the problem. If you accept that it's raining now, then you can use an umbrella and go out. So similarly, first you got to accept the reality, then you can do what you need to do. So remember these three universal principles, particularly all your emotions, without exceptions, come from your thoughts. And you don't have to continue the thoughts. You don't control what thoughts come to your mind, but you don't have to continue the thoughts that came to your mind. 2, everyone has innate natural mental health, the default setting, as long as they don't get lost in thoughts. 3rd is if you can accept whatever reality that's happening at this moment, which you have no choice anyway, it's the reality, then only you can produce what is yet to happen. Okay, I will end with some conventional advice by Buddha very quickly from Sigala Wada Sutta. Sigala Wada Sutta has some advice on what parents should do and what children should do. Now, parents, quite simple, it's five points. One is parents' duty is to guide the children towards to avoid unwholesome activities. Unwholesome activities, you can take it as no killing, no stealing and all, but I would take it more also as in to guide them away from what is against the universal law. Universal law as in if they take things as impermanent, permanent, everything is all permanent, then you have to slowly guide them so that they don't suffer. To guide them to do wholesome, and to me, more deeper is to guide them towards universal law, understanding impermanence, non-self. Number 3, provide training in suitable profession, education. And to me also is to help them to understand universal law. If you can impart the 3 universal law that I mentioned to your kids, to me, they will grow up very healthy, mentally healthy kids. Third one, this is during Buddha's time, arrange suitable marriage. I would interpret it as to guide your kids in the company of good friends, including life partner, because Kayana Mitra, good spiritual friends, is very, very important. The last one is to hand over inheritance at the proper time. Here, I would also interpret it as to hand over the Dharma, but not as preaching. Again, as you, when you live the Dharma, the kids will absorb it. You don't have to open your mouth to pass the Dharma to the kids. Parents like to preach the children. You don't have to. You just live the Dharma. The kids will be able to absorb it. And this one is, I always remember one of my friends always joke. He says, a lot of people like to do this, tell people, you do what I tell you to do, don't do what I do. This don't work now, the kids. Okay, you got to let the kids do what you do. So you got to make sure you practice the Dharma, then the kids will practice the Dharma. Okay, I'll end with the children's 5 duty. First, help the parents to do their duty. Second, support and take care of the parents. Third, make oneself worthy of inheritance. Fourth, keep family tradition. The last is transfer marriage to parents after parents pass away. Okay, so with this short sharing, I hope you all would be able to gain something and help in your parenting. Pass back to you.
Thank you very much, Bhante, for this enlightening talk. It's very inspiring to hear Bhante share about living the Dharma instead of preaching, and also, in other words, role modeling it. And we will now move to Brother Mitra Chong, who is a trainer and founder and CEO of Treehouse Learning, which offers programs on 21st century learning and life skills. He holds a master in training and human resource management and numerous certifications in training, HR, coaching, and entrepreneurship. Brother Mitra has been actively contributing to the Buddhist community for the past 3 decades. He facilitates programs on family bonding, teacher training, family and children camps, and Dharma storytelling. So Brother Mitra is not just any other trainer. He is a father of 2 teenage sons, Sheldon and Emerson, who are inspiring creativity and transforming mindsets through their workshops, talks, and projects. So we will now invite Brother Mitra to come to stage.
All right, thank you, Karin. Okay, Namo Buddhaya and Sukhihutu, everybody. Thank you, Karin and Shalom Buddhist Society for inviting me to share my journey, unfolding children's potential. What are the methods and what do I do to unfold my children's potential? Okay, being involved in the field of human development for many years, right? I would like to share the perspective of a parent. And of course, over here, perspective of a parent is just a teamwork. That means my wife, myself, okay, we work as a team, not individually, we work as a team, okay? How we brought up our children and unfold their potential. Parenting is an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing journey and it's always work in progress, right? today, let me share what I do and practice in my family. My parenting journey might be somewhat different from your family, okay? So please bring back the points that can apply to your family, okay? Those you think cannot apply, just leave it aside. But those you think can apply to your family, please put it into practice, right? I believe that what I have been practicing in my family has been quite fruitful so far, right? Okay, let me just share some slides. Okay, just to check, can you all see the slides? Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, the first point I would like to share is, you see, what in our family we do is we create a mission statement, a family mission statement, okay? As a strong foundation of a strong family, first of all, we aspire, okay? We aspire, okay? We create our own ambition and create our own family mission statement as one of the foundation. What we do is we sit together and discuss the following, okay? The purpose of our family. We ask ourselves, what is our purpose of our family? In fact, at this point of time, I involve my children. When they are young, it's me and my wife will discuss about this family mission statement. Then when they are able to understand, we embrace them and include them in the discussion itself, right? We have a discussion, the purpose of family. What does our family stand for? This is so very important. What are the virtues that we want to have in our family? We list it down. Okay. And thirdly, very important question we ask ourselves: where are we going together as a family? Three very important questions. Okay, that we discussed among ourselves, and we came up with our family mission statement, and all of us will have this mission statement with us. Okay, so the children knows what are the mission statement. Our parents also know what are the mission statement. I think this is one of our very important foundation for us. I also noticed children can be swept along with the flow of society's values and trend. It's simply, probably I noticed, because I do a lot of student training, children study, they are living the script out of given to them. Okay, they are not living, they are being lived. In fact, I noticed. Having a shared vision, a shared sense of purpose, virtues, bonds parent and children together. This is one of the glue that I noticed that bonds my family together, right? So it just, for example, every family member is inside a boat, a small boat, right? Everyone is given a paddle. Everyone is given a paddle. So if, for example, there is no direction, I'm a paddle left, you paddle right, you paddle everywhere. So as we are very hardworking, we paddle, but the boat goes round and round. The harder we paddle, the faster the boat will go round and round. So I believe this mission statement will give us a direction where we want to go. Okay, so the second thing I would like to share is support your children's interests. We come from the point of where we spend a lot of time listen to our children, watch them, observe. We help them to discover and explore what interests them. Okay, just for your information, when they're young, we did not focus on academic excellence. We focus on letting them become a human, to become a good human being, which have virtues. That's what we've been doing from young onwards. Okay, so we do not go into getting A's, and we're not interested in that. In fact, okay, right? Some parents might do, but to us as a family, we feel that to become a human being is much more important, right? So we also look into their potential, their talents. Okay, then we help them discover and explore what interests them. So also, we do not want to schedule too many tuition or what. Actually, no tuition at all when they're young. No tuition. We let them have a free play, unstructured time, and they become very creative. We notice that by giving them unstructured time, we don't buy a lot of toys for them. They create their own toys, and we spend a lot of time on nature. We bring them up when they're young. Okay, almost every weekend we go out. Because we also notice when they are at home, they tend to be glued to the screen. So what we did is we make a conscious choice. Okay, let us go and explore nature, go out nature, and when we go out nature, we go with them now. We don't let them just play and we look at our handphone. No, we keep our handphone, we play with them. Then I find it's very important. And one more thing which also is very important, we praise them for their effort, not result. They do something with effort, we praise the effort. We don't talk so much about achievement. When they put in effort, we praise them for the effort, right? And I always remind ourselves as parents, they are not their exam result. Okay, I notice a lot of people stress too much on getting academic excellence, that they discard other things which are, I believe, as important as our exam result. Okay, and also we also try to understand that the children have multiple intelligences. They have a lot of other intelligences. We have to look. For example, some of them might be bodily, kinesthetic intelligence, not just only logical and mathematical. A lot of parents are just focusing on this logical and mathematical intelligence. They are actually interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence. Some of them are very aligned to nature. Okay, some of them are very good in their language, linguistic. So we look at what is good. So we also look at our children, what is their intelligence, and from there we build up their confidence, right? The other thing is this is a quotation that I remember. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live the whole life believing that it is stupid. Okay, so remember that statement. Okay, all the children look at what are their intelligences. Okay, the other thing which I would like to we do in our family is we encourage questioning. We encourage our children to ask questions and what they see or what they experience. Okay, we encourage them to question everything, but not with suspicion, but with a general wanting to know in a healthy way. Right? Through that, they acquire useful skills and develop the capacity of solving problem. Okay, they can solve problem at a very young age because we encourage, right? We don't have the thinking that we are much better than our children. Okay, and we dumb it down to them. We ask questions and we encourage. In fact, we encourage them to ask questions. That's where we engage with them, right? We encourage them to investigate, challenge, and find out the meaning. Okay, because of doing this at a very early age, this I feel is a very important step to gain their control over life, because they ask questions. They find out from they don't know. Sometimes we be honest with them, we don't know. So what they do is they go and ask questions, they go and Google, and after that they come back to us. They have a self of control, that they are in control of their life to a certain extent, right? The other very important thing is we encourage honesty in our home, truth and honesty. All right. What we do is we focus on improvement, not on mistake and fault. Any so-called unskillful things that they do, we encourage improvement. We do not say, hey, why you make this stupid mistake? No. We do not. We already have agreement with my wife and I. We don't go and dump into them. They encourage. Okay, this is something unskillful we have done. What can we do to rectify, to make it better? So let the children come out so that they have accountability, right? And when they tell the truth, we appreciate it. Even it's hard for us to swallow, we really appreciate it. You see, I notice a lot of children, they do not want to tell the truth, because if they tell the truth, they are being punished. That's why they do not want to tell the truth. So when they tell the truth, appreciate it. Even it might hit our ego a bit. It's okay. Appreciate it. And two things that I always learn, we do not react, we respond. When we react, we get angry. We are mindless. Children do like that, we are angry. We want them to do this way. No, we respond. We do like that. This is a good. Okay. How can we make it better? So we respond. We are being very mindful. Okay, so we encourage them instead of scolding them. That is also very important. Okay, in a kind of our culture, sometimes we use too much scolding already, right? And sometimes when there's too much scolding, they will they shut down, go in here, go out here. That's what's happening. I notice, right? And we must stop criticizing our kids. When you keep on criticizing it, they don't stop loving you, but they stop loving themselves. Okay, that's very, very crucial, right? And this one we have, this is so crucial, walking the talk, role model. Okay, children learn from what we do rather than what we say. Okay, so as a parent, right? We practice the precept, and we do a lot of charity work, and we bring them along to see, and we get them involved in charity work. Okay, we spend time in nature. We create. That is the most important thing that I would like to share with you. We create the environment for them to absorb, and for them to expand their potential. Okay, you don't have to tell them what to do. When you create the right environment for them, they will expand, they will grow their potential. Okay, that is why maybe some of you knows that from young onwards, I homeschool my 2 children. Okay, until recently they just go to school, right, for only 3 years in their life. Okay, before that homeschool, because I want to create that kind of environment for them, so they can bloom, right? And one very other important thing is, yes, generally in my house, we educate the heart and mind. Okay, we put learning into 2 baskets. One is external learning, that is where you train in school to become a lawyer, doctor, cook, manager, certain skill set, attending all sorts of skill set. The other basket, which is as important or more important, we call it internal learning. Okay, that is involve the minds and heart. So what we do is, when to educate the mind and heart, it's so crucial. We will take them for a lot of Dharma camps and let them conduct some sessions. So from a very young age, they build up their confidence. They learn the Dharma through that way, because they see us doing, see the parents in action, and they're always behind us. They see us. Then at a very young age, we expose them, let them conduct. So they build up their leadership skills, they build up their compassion skills, whatever they have. So they be able to do that. So remember, a healthy mind, by educating the heart and mind, it makes their action positive and virtuous, and cause happiness and resilience. Okay, and a healthy mind will lead to happiness, actually, right? And the last area that we like to just to summarize is, as parents, we create that kind of environment, okay, that nobody else can create. Actually, sometimes parenting, we cannot outsource too much. Skill set, yes, but as parents, we need to be hands-on to create that kind of environment. It's not so much taking out skills. You create that kind of environment where they can bloom, okay, where they can take accountability, they can take responsibility. Okay, so I have these 6 points that I put into practice in my home, right? And after that, if there's any further question, I can elaborate during the Q&A time. Okay, so with that, thank you. I'll pass it back to Sister Karin. Let me unshare.
Thank you, Brother Mitra, for the sharing earlier. It was very also very enlightening. We will now move to Sis Mian, our next speaker, and allow me to introduce her before we start. Sister Mian is a clinical psychologist who has been working in the workplace behavioral health areas for more than 2 decades. focusing on managerial coaching, training, counseling for employees in distress. Now, she professionally, Sister Mian works with individuals, couples, families, and workplace and community for more than 27 years in different settings. What is very interesting is she provides employee assistance programs, corporate coaching, training, crisis intervention, psychotherapy, psychological assessment, supervision, lecturing, mindfulness, and compassion-based interventions. So Sister Mian is also a trained teacher of mindful self-compassion with the Center for Mindful Self-Compassion USA. Over the years, she has been interviewed by various local newspapers, magazines, radio, and TV, including she was also a guest speaker for the Bella show on NTV for 4 years. So you might have seen her on this social media lah. One more thing to mention about Sister Mian is that she has been a meditator for more than 30 years and has been actively involved in the Buddhist Society community and the counseling unit for quite a long while now. So I will now invite Sister Mian.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for your generous introduction. And thank you to Shalom Buddhist Society and another 9 participating Buddhist association or organization this morning. So we have 10 Buddhist organization coming together. Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing to do on Father's Day. Let me be the one to greet all the father. Yeah, today is actually coincidentally Father Days. Yeah, and what a day for us to actually discuss this topic, right? Of course, to the fathers and the mothers, yeah, who are attending this forum this morning. Thank you for being here with us. And 3 of us, your invited speaker are not the expert. You are the expert, yeah. And what we are here to just, remind all of us certain pointers, and like Bante say, we just need to take the pointers again and practice it. So I'm coming from a different perspective from Bante and Brother Mitra. I'm not a parent, yeah, but interestingly, I deal with a lot of working parents all my working professional life because of my employee assistance program. Let me just share with you a very clear statistic. And I think I want to position it so that parents listening, yeah, I want you to do that to yourself. You have faced a lot. Yeah. So I work in an employee assistance program, which is a workplace behavioral health program. So, and in fact, professionally, I sit in the Asia Pacific Employee Assistance Roundtable, and we have been having roundtable webinar every month from last year, March, and it's still ongoing. And this monthly webinar, we actually invite speakers from the respective countries in Asia Pacific to share about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, yeah, on the employee population, yeah, because it's a workplace behavioral health program, right? So, and I want to tell you in short, yeah, collectively, from last year, March till now, this month, we just had featuring India, yeah, so we are, of course, featuring as many countries as possible, but what I want to share with you is that consistently, yeah, every country is presenting the same statistic, which is working population are very affected by anxiety and depression. Yeah, and of course, a lot of, mentioning about burnout at workplace. And interpersonal relationship is one of the data that was gathered consistently in all this country that the working population are affected with interpersonal relationship, yeah? And that is actually referring to working parents, especially couple relationship. I'll talk about that later and I'll give you more statistic on that. But with this background, I just want to position it to let us really, like what Bante said, have a clear understanding, accept the reality. The reality is that these 2.5 years, yeah, in a way, I mean, all of us are taken by surprise by the pandemic. Yeah, although the basic Four Noble Truth is always there, right? But at the external world, naturally, yeah, it was very shocking, these 2.5 years of the pandemic. Yeah. So nevertheless, a lot of reaction, a lot of suffering ongoing. So with that environment that we are in, yeah, it's not surprising that working parents are stressed out, right? So let's just, start with that, be accepting of the reality, and then figure out, yeah, I will give you, yeah, at the end of my sharing afterwards, yeah, coping strategy that we can take away as parents to cope, yeah. But first and foremost, accept the reality, yeah, that the world is uncertain, it keeps on changing rapidly, and what do we need to know about it to cope with the rapid changes. So that is the foundation. Okay, so I do have slides so that, the visual people, yeah, visual people like to see slides, yeah, so that they can remember better. So I've also prepared slide. Let me go to my slide, yeah. Okay, so this is my slide. Post-pandemic, yeah, working parents' challenges, how to cope or balance between couple, family, and workplace. Yeah. So that's my big title. And I put these two nice cartoon, and you see which one I put first, which is the family one first. Yeah. The papa, mama, and the children helping to do the home chores together. And of course, the down one is our typical scenario of, especially now, yeah, almost all workplace has resumed back to work in the office. Yeah. So, but what I wanted to highlight, yeah, is actually this piece. This is our life, at least the conventional life, right? So I put here, life equals to self, couple, children, relative, friends, colleague, yeah, and our parents, the company that we work with, the management team that we work with. This is just very simplistic graphic presentation to look at how our life is. Yeah, but it's much more complicated, I'm sure. Out of these 5 circles or 5 bubbles, yeah, it's much more complicated than that. But here we are, each of it itself, yeah, there's so the different layers of relationship. Yeah, relationship. And what I've done here is that, I actually do this as a corporate training, yeah, training on resilient building. And I actually have this 12 coping skill, which is represented by the SELF, CALM, and LOVE. I'll show you what the 12 is later on. But what I meant is that let's plug this 12 coping skill into this whole circle of relationship that we have in our life, which is the first piece is me, myself, right? And the second piece is, of course, our spouse, the couple relationship. Yeah, the third piece is, of course, the children, relatives, friends, and colleagues that we work with. And of course, the center piece is our activity of our life, right? Which is, of course, yeah, for us lay people, is the work and parenting. And on top of that, traditionally, we are still very bureaucratic. On top of that, we still have our traditional family, our elderly parents, and of course, at workplace, which is our leadership and management to cope with. So all these different relationship, let's see how to manage that with this 12 coping skill, to juggle within this relationship. So at the end of the day, of course, as what I put here, the 2 quotes, in this poster is healthy self matters before healthy couple relationship, and healthy couple matters before healthy family relationship. I think this is straightforward, even though we know it. But yet, of course, we struggle with it, and that's where coping skill can come in to help us. That's how I'll present to you the 12 coping skill. But remember, healthy self matters first. If you are in trouble, you will not be able to relate with your spouse. And if the couple are in trouble, so the family will be in chaos. And what happened next? You will bring this stress and chaos also into the workplace, because we cannot lock it in the drawer, So that's how complicated our lay life is. And I want to stress this because, I know Brother Mitra, of course, we talked before today's forum, he's going to focus on parenting. So I want to focus on couple instead. Yeah. So just to let you know, looking at this chart, and I want to present to you our Malaysian data. I've extracted it. I'm going to glance at my phone, where I've had the information. From March 2020 to August 2021, Malaysia divorce rate. We have 66,440 cases for the Muslim, which means that 121 cases a day, or 5 cases of filed divorce every hour. This is Muslim. For non-Muslim, it's 10,346 cases of divorce. And it is 18 divorce cases a day. This is how high interpersonal relationship, and especially couple relationship, was affected during the pandemic. So this is the data, right? It's serious. So anyway, so if you look at this simple chart, this colorful chart, it's straightforward, right? Quality of couple and parents relationship is 5-star. So it will equals to overall family stability. If the quality of couple and parents relationship is 1-star, of course, the overall family stability is crossed, right? In trouble, red flag. And this is shown already by scientific studies, in psychology area. Of course, I'm extracting from the psychology area. Multiple studies have shown that, and I just presented to you the Malaysia divorce rate. And from there, from the couple relationship, that's why I say that we adults have to take accountability first. From the couple relationship, this is how our children can be affected. The spillover effect of the couple relationship, on parenting and how that impact the children. So again, the multiple research have shown children living in household in which the couple and co-parenting relationship. So Brother Mitra stressed so much about he and sister Selena, husband and wife, the co-parenting relationship has to be aligned, right? He stressed so much on that just now. So you can see, even from the research you have shown, when the couple and co-parenting relationship is good, is high, support is high between the two couple, couple reduce fight, the fighting is low, it equals to the children, health, development, safety, all going up. Their emotional and behavioral issue going down. So in a more, glaring way I'm putting it, this means having parents who know how to manage conflict appropriately. Of course, couples do fight. Right? If you don't fight, something is also interestingly whether it's suppressing, So couples or parents who know how to manage conflict appropriately, the children demonstrate more pro-social behavior and less aggressive tendency. So that is shown by the research. Okay. So of course, stressing my point again before I go to the 12 coping strategy very briefly to end my session. Healthy self plus healthy couple plus healthy family plus healthy workplace. That's of course ideally, how we would actually can keep ourselves and our family unit, as healthy as possible, right? So this is, the nutshell why I want to re-highlight. And of course, this is the 12 coping skill I talk about, building resilience. And actually, I have this not due to the pandemic. I've been actually talking about this 2010. So this is nothing new. But again, if I go through this very quickly, you'll see that, we know this. But the tricky part is, how do we practice it? So I separate it into 3 separate parts, so that in a way more systematically, like acquiring the skill, we can see it clearly. The first piece, of course, is a very big piece, is the relationship with the world. I call it skill in managing, CALM. And what is this CALM? All this, I put it myself so that it's easy to remember, because people want something easy to take away, right? To remember. Yeah. So my C represent concentrate on what I can do or manage right now. Pay attention, concentrate on what you can do right now. Yeah. A, agility, adjust, adapt ourselves on an ongoing basis. L, live in the present, let go of the past. Sounds simple, but this is hard to practice. And what is this practice? CAL? CAL actually represent our mindfulness practice. So therefore, fellow parents, especially our Buddhist parents, a big piece, that really can help us to manage ourselves and manage our family and manage the workplace. It is actually our cultivation of, our meditative practice. Yeah, and this CEL itself really represents the awareness and mindfulness part. Because if you are lacking in the awareness and mindfulness, you will not be able to catch yourself when you're reacting in anger, like Bante said. Or you struggle to realize that you are carried away by your thoughts. Yeah, and then it will lead to affecting the feeling, and then it will lead to affecting the behavior. Yeah, so this piece, is the practice. Yeah, and we need to dedicate. Yeah. And for some of you who have attended my talk where I teach the mindfulness program, you will know you don't need long meditative practice. Yeah, so you can practice mindfulness. Yeah, so but what I want to say today is that CAL. Yeah, let's practice that. Yeah, without this, definitely we are vulnerable to the reaction. Yeah, we are vulnerable to the nagging. We are vulnerable, to all the negative aspects of the parenting. Yeah, so practice CAL. And of course, the M represent balancing, maintaining the balance in relationship between yourself and the other people. And I have the other 4 skills, relating to self and relating to others. And very quickly, I'm mindful of my time. I'm almost meeting my 15 minutes. So in relation to yourself, I promote or suggest SELF. These are again big practices. So I put it so simple, but it's actually each of it itself. There are a lot of practices. Self-care, back to the basic. Are we, ourselves and our family, eating healthily? Exercising. Like Brother Mitra said, he focused on the nature, the exercise, the activity, the play with the children. So are we as a family, practicing enough self-care? So that itself, there's a lot of things to look at, right? Second one, express yourself. Instead of suppress yourself, right? Like children dare not tell us the truth. They suppress themselves, because of the fear of the nagging and the scolding. But how do we learn to express ourselves assertively, healthily? This again is a communication skill. The third one is being loving others without losing yourself. And this is where I refer to the practice of compassion and self-compassion. This one, I invite you this coming Tuesday, June 21st. I'm actually speaking on the challenges of practicing compassion and self-compassion at the BGF, our Buddhist Gem Fellowship Psychological Series 2.0. And you can actually watch it or maybe not live. I think it's going to be recorded because ours is a registered program and we're going to have a Zoom session, but they're going to record it. And later on, it's actually going to be in BGF, Facebook or YouTube. Go and watch where I'm going to talk about detail about this, loving others without losing yourself. But it is compassion and self-compassion practice. And F referring to fulfillment of self, which is actually because, I'm targeting non-Buddhist group. But for this, usually I talk about the practice of spirituality. And I usually emphasize on the practice of gratitude. Just like Brother Mitra, I noticed he talks about the practice of gratitude too within the family. Lastly, very quickly, relationship with other people, LOVE. L stands for listen compassionately and wisely. Again, this one is the mindfulness and compassion practices involved. O, open and honest with each other. learn to be observant of each other. Yeah. V, valiant, brave and courageous in all our relationship. You need to be brave and courageous to be open and honest. Yeah. Learn to validate each other instead of criticizing each other. E, empathize. Learn to empathize each other. Learn to accept the good enough instead of striving for achievement and perfectionism within ourselves as parents and towards our children in the family or even at work. Striving towards achievement and perfectionism in our work will drive us so stressed out. So very quickly, these are the 12 coping skills. So with this, I hope this is a very quick takeaway for all of you today. And with this, I will stop my sharing and I will pass over back to Sister Corinne so that we can go into the exciting part, which is the Q&A, questions or even comment from all the parents who are watching us this morning. And we look forward to that interactive dialogue or discussion. So back to you, Sister Karen.
Thank you very much, Sister Mien, for this informative talk when you showed us the statistics and you even helped with the acronyms for the building resilience model. I think it's very creative and it makes it easy and digestible for everyone to remember and to learn. So we have now finished the respective individual speaker session. Bante Nyaninda shared earlier on about the important Dharma practices, and he reminded us to be aware of our thoughts, to be aware of prescription and description, and that our thoughts are not necessarily our reality, and also to learn to accept what is happening in the present with our family. What is also profound is that he shared about helping our children understand universal law and to practice the Dharma without preaching, through living the Dharma. And then we also had Brother Mitra Chong, who shared his experience as a father and how he applied proactive parenting principles in his family. He shared about starting a family mission statement, working together as a team, being present with his children without using phone, and encouraging curiosity through questioning, focusing on improvement instead of mistakes, and also creating a healthy environment for the children and the family. And then we're speaking about creating a healthy environment for the children and family. Sister Mian moved on to share about the statistics of the working population being affected by anxiety, depression, burnout, and having it becomes more difficult to have healthy relationships with all these external changes and external circumstances around us. So she shared about the building resilience model and also how we can focus on conflict management and having a healthy relationship with self. So we will now move to the Q&A session where I will bring all speakers onto the stage one by one. Just allow me to spotlight everyone. I think there is some technical difficulties here. Just bear with me. All right, thank you so much to the technical team for helping with this. Okay, so we have all 4 speakers. Thank you so much, Bante, Brother Mitra, Sister Mian. Let's take the first question from the group. Actually, before we start with the first question, maybe I can ask the speakers first. As you have been sharing and also listening to each other. Is there how's your experience right now? Any thoughts, insights that you have gained in the last 45 minutes?
Actually, from my observation, we are actually speaking almost the same thing. It's actually in a different manner. Actually, in a different, we present it in a different manner, but there are snippets of mindfulness and snippet of environment, and we are all aligned in that extent where I noticed we are all speaking the same thing, actually, just in different ways.
I like the way Brother Mitra shared his personal experience, because it's good to have life experience from a parent, and also Sister Mien's from a broader perspective. So I guess it's quite comprehensive to have different speakers speaking from different perspectives. It's good.
Yeah, and all in all, right? So I think that's how topics like that show to us again the common humanity, right? The common humanity that all of us face, regardless of the situation that we are facing. But naturally, again, we learn from the Buddha. Yeah, we need skillful means. Yeah, different approaches, different way of presenting the same thing. Yeah, so that different individual will take in differently. Yeah, we have different Dharma doors, right? So therefore, I think as trainer, teachers, yeah, that is the part that I always feel that is our learning to have, always apply creative different skill, so that, our different recipients will receive it in a different manner, as long as it is applicable for them.
Thanks, Ms. Mien. Yeah, so after hearing from all three of you, there is definitely some common humanity and common patterns also that everyone has been sharing. And so we'll move to the Q&A now, yeah? So we have the first question from Hu Sui Min, directed to Brother Mitra. Please.
Unschooling is not for everybody. Okay, let me just clarify it. It's because it needs certain time. It needs time, for example, to bring the children out during weekdays and everything. Okay, there are many ways of how people do homeschooling. The way I do is very natural way. I do not have in fact, before I just to give you a backstory, before I decided to go on this path, I've checked with several monks also. I asked their opinion. What do you think? In fact, from what my discussion with them, all of us, not one, a few of them encouraged to go to do that method. So I was actually my doubt was cleared in a sense because they encouraged. They said to do it. Okay, provide the environment for them to bloom, to grow, and this is the best method. This is the effective method, a very skillful method to do it. So with that kind of encouragement, we decided to walk this journey of homeschooling, okay, or unschooling. So my way, I put it a very natural way. I don't have a kind of syllabus. What time you must study what subject. In fact, I did not touch anything on education at all. I mean academic at all when they are young. I never studied any subject. But one thing which we did, I think we did very religiously, okay. We look at it's a childlike follow their interests. I look at their interests. I observe what do they like, and of course we go a lot of places just to talk for the child to talk to people. Then I observe what are their likes, and I noticed that they have the creative streak. They are quite creative. So okay, based on that, let them be like they like to doodle, they like to draw. So I encourage them to doodle and draw. So for example, I allow them even to use the marker, the marker which can be erased on to draw my wall. To draw on the wall and on the floor, they use chalk. Other parents will freak out. I encourage them, go ahead, do it. If a child led, I see what are their interests are. Then I go and live there. Then of course the other question is socialization. They thought homeschool children don't know how to socialize. In fact, if you observe their behavior, they are very confident because they talk not to children, but they talk to adults. They do not have even the distinctions. Sometimes they talk to adults. It's just like sometimes they talk. We bring them out. We always let them socialize because there are groups now. That we call it pockets of parents will have their activities. Okay, so we join 1 week, join this group. The next week, join this group. So we do co-parenting in that sense lah. They have one day they go to the beach cleanup. So we send them there PD to do beach cleanup. The next one is to help turtle sanctuary. To watch the turtle sanctuary. So we go turtle sanctuary and we have covered almost all the turtle sanctuary in Malaysia. I mean, every turtle sanctuary you go and help. And this actually is very crucial. It's not we call it holiday come doing social work. Learning to us is learning. It's not just holiday for holiday. Holiday plus learning. Okay. Of course, we have to allocate our time. We have to allocate a bit of budget. That's it. Traveling in here. Okay. That we actually do not find any much challenges. It's just that I would say you need certain I don't know it's a right word to use sacrifices certain allocation of time. It would be good that if a parent were to be on his or her own, so can manage his or her time then to because sometimes activities are not around town. You have to go house station and all those kind of things. And it was a very fruitful journey because at one time we were Christian. Then now a lot of parents have come to us and said, "Hey, what do you do to your children? Can you tell us the secret?" I said, "There's no secret. You provide the environment for them to bloom." That's what we've been doing, and you are the role model for them. You're the role model for them. They will just absorb what you're doing. If you are a kind, you're a proper human being, they'll end up become a proper human being. Man. You don't need to preach. Sometimes I told them, you keep on telling them, go in, go out. I said, it's very different. Now they are quite independent because like what Bante said, they know more than us sometimes, certain things. So we have to think of a very different way of how we bring up our children. Okay, so I hope Sister Kamanta have answered your question. Right. Any more? If you have any more questions, we can.
I want to add in, Brother Mitra. I would take away the word sacrifice. In fact, what I hear is consistent commitment, the right effort.
Thank you for putting the right words in.
Yes. Thank you, Brother Mitra and Sister Mian. So, Brother Mitra, you shared about the having community, other groups of parents who are also homeschooling them. So it's not necessarily such a lonely journey. The only thing is to reach out and to connect with people of similar communities, people of similar like-minded perspectives. I mean, how they like to send their children to school and all. For parents who are interested to consider homeschooling, Brother Mitra, would you have any references that you recommend? Like where do they start? Is there any place they can start?
Yes, actually, there are a few homeschooling private schools. What we do is we will join some of these Facebook group and see what activities they have. That aligns with our value system, and we join. Like certain things that do not align with our value system, we don't join. Okay, so they get a good variety of people, because different people then they mix. Then they start talking to adults, and I noticed that when they start talking to adults, their confidence level is very different. So they interact very well. They are very confident with adults when they talk to adults, which I think that is one of the best thing about. And you have to arrange your time. That's very important. You have to arrange. You have to manage and arrange your time, and you have to be consistent. Hardworking. A lot of people they are hands-off parenting. Here you have to be hands-on parenting. You have to be involved in the activity itself. For example, they help to clean the turtle. You yourself as a parent, you go in, get yourself dirty, get yourself. You don't complain anything. You just go in, you do it with them. Then they will learn a lot of things, much more than in a classroom, the way I see it.
All right. Thank you, Brother Mitra. So we will move to the next question. And the next question is by Brother MY, I think. And it's to any speaker. How do you respond to a kid who at one time thinks dad knows everything to dad knows nothing? Maybe it's a question of when we're younger, I think I can relate to this question. At one point, wow, my parents, they seem to know everything in the world. I just worship my parents, right? And then at one point, I asked the questions, and then, actually, parents don't really know as much as I thought, So, yeah.
Let me just share. It's how you position yourself. You don't go and position that you know everything. So sometimes when the children ask, I don't know, let's check Google, let's go in Google and explore together. Once you position yourself everything, after that they see that's not everything, they get very disappointed. So from young, I think don't position yourself you know everything. So sometimes even okay, why don't you find? Even sometimes my children, I know, I don't give them the answer. I will throw it back to them. Why don't you do a bit of research and let me know what you learn from there, or anything there.
That's how you enhance their curiosity, as you were sharing earlier also.
Problem solving, thinking skills. Actually, very important to have thinking skills, because at this modern world, I notice if they don't have thinking skills, they'll be very easily misled. Very easily, because we cannot control. There's so many things we cannot control. So I think we need to build within. So you have to build their thinking skills to see which is skillful, which is not skillful. So you don't have to control so much already. When they have that, you know that you are in good hands already. Okay? So they will sometimes I will ask them, even I have the answer, sometimes I don't give. I will just throw it back to them. What do you think? Then they will go and do research. I think we have to sometimes turn back the clock and do some of these basic things again. Because sometimes, especially sometimes when we portray, we know everything. Then after that, of course, we do not know everything. Really, I mean, then after that, they put us so high. Then one day we cannot answer their question. Then they will be very disappointed. So try to now do a co-parenting, as a collaboration. Rather than to show that I have the power, I'm the parent, I tell you what you must do. Let's try to be collaborate. I think go towards the more collaborating mindset to even with your children. I think that would be much more beneficial, much more effective at this point of time.
It's like collaborating and also being a facilitator
yes.
Not functioning as a walking dictionary, but more facilitating the learning process, encouraging all this curiosity, wonderment, and everything. Sometimes, you're talking about positioning yourself as a parent who knows everything, and I wonder if that could be related to the ego. So I thought maybe we can also ask Bhante for his for your views on this from a spiritual perspective.
I think Brother Mitra has said it quite clearly that exploring with the kids with curiosity, like I mentioned also, parenting is more about guiding the children, guiding as in exploring together to discover things, not to dictate. Like what I shared just now is, it doesn't work to preach from the ego that you should do what I tell you to do. It doesn't work anymore. It works maybe during our generation when we were kids, but it doesn't work now. Nowadays, the kids are not as dumb as us, which will say, oh, okay, you just follow. No, it doesn't work. So you have to explore, like what Brother Mitra says, quite clear.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Okay, so we'll move. Sister Mian, is there anything you'd like to share also from your perspective? Anything that came up?
I was just laughing away, and I would just probably pull in one of the 12 that I mentioned just now, especially the E, empathizing and good enough. So for both of us, the parent and the children, to learn, to empathize with each other, to accept each other. Yeah. And what is this good enough? Because we can never be perfect. Yeah. So that's why it's one of my 12 coping skills, the good enough. Yeah. When we are good enough, we learn to be good enough, then we don't strive to be the perfect mom, dad, or to know everything at every stage of our life. So it's an involvement between the children and the parents together. Yeah. I'll add in as that.
Thank you, Ms. Mian. Actually, when we something came up, and I thought about how when we position ourselves as a guide and to facilitate. Sometimes, I think when it comes to parenting, I seem to hear two come froms. One come from is like, I'm your parent, you're my child, I should be teaching you something. And then we talk about the preaching, which Bhante mentioned, right? Then I also see a different come from quite a lot of parents. And I hear from them, they're like, my children are my biggest teachers. I learn so much from them. So it's interesting when you share about empathizing and feeling good enough. I think like it's how we see our children. Yes, I don't have children, but so okay, let's move to the next question. Yeah, this is also from another question from Sister Hu Sui Min, for Venerable Nyaninda. As Venerable mentioned in the Sigalo Vada Sutta on the fourth duty, is to see that children are married to suitable individuals. How can parents at this new age guide and advise on marriage matters? As many of us talk about freedom of choices, and our children should be mature enough to choose his or her life partner.
Actually, this was said by Buddha because 2,500 years ago, maybe until even recently in India, it's a duty of the parents to arrange marriage. Okay, so to me, in modern world, the parents have to, like what I mentioned, and also Brother Mitra mentioned, we have to guide them by example, by who we associate with. If we always associate with spiritual friends, somehow our kids will have a tendency to do that. They just follow what we do. So by just ourselves being with community of spiritual people, or people in good, you could say, in the sense that right type of people, the kids will just automatically follow. So basically, we have to do the work ourselves. There's no shortcut.
Okay. Thank you, Bante. We move to the next question. Brother Violi. This is a question from Brother Violi to Bante also. What is the advice for adopting duties of parents and children into working and daily life with Dharma?
I think I mentioned also, like let's say the parents' duty, the first one to guide the children towards unwholesome activities like killing, stealing. Again, the parents have to do it themselves. But more towards, for me, is the deeper level is to guide them so that they don't do things that is against the universal law. And they can adopt it as in, for example, the universal law is all your emotions come from your thoughts. Okay, if the parents can realize it himself or herself, then slowly the kids will see it. The kids will see that the parents don't react to things. You know, they would have, because they know if kids do something, let's say kids do something wrong, normally parents will suddenly get angry. But if the parents can see that the anger comes from their own thinking, why this kid does this, by seeing what the parents do, slowly the kids also will follow. I give you an example of the daughter of a transformational coach. She don't get upset with the parents anymore because she says that her upset comes from her upset thoughts and it's too tiring to continue the upset thoughts. So she say what she learned from the parents, it's good, but it's no more fun anymore because she can't get upset with the parents. So actually, you can put the Dharma into practice this way. First, the parents have to practice it. Each of the Sigala Vada, all parents can practice. Like just now about the marriage, the parents associating with the right type of people. So basically, in summary, is again, parents got to do the hard work. So I actually rejoice, like there are parents like Mitra, Brother Mitra, who actually do a lot of hard work on this, because most parents are hands-off parenting. It's like, let them do whatever I want to do, my own things. Parenting is a full-time job. Okay, probably that's one of the reasons I didn't become a parent, because I know, not because it's not good, it's good, but it's something that to me, if you want to do, you must have the passion to do it. Okay.
Thank you, Bante. Yeah. So there's no spiritual bypassing in order to. There's no shortcut. It starts with self, which is something that Sister Mian shared also. Really, it starts with ourselves, and we need to understand ourselves. We need to understand the thoughts and practice it as we role model it for the next generation.
Can I add in something?
Yes, please do.
What I do in my family is we do not only just focus we focus internally. Sometimes we look like we said, we educate the heart and the mind. I think that's very important because we have been told just get qualification, get those are external, important also. okay, as a lay person to get a job and all those kind of things. Yes, correct, that's important. But one very important component, which I think is lost or missing, is the education of the heart and the mind. Okay, so personally, I will sit with my children almost every day, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, doing breathing, and after that, Mitra. Every day, I try to do that. Okay, so if I forget, they'll remind me. Because we are so busy with so many projects and all this kind of thing. Hey, time to meditate, they tell me. So I think it's a good practice where we need to balance it up. Especially we started this one more seriously during the pandemic, because I noticed they are too much looking at the screen, because they cannot go out during the last two years. They've been looking at the screen. So I have to think of something. Okay, so we said, okay, let's do seriously this practice about the 12 minutes plus. We just play the tape. We just took the tape and breathing exercise. After that, we end with Mitra. Then I find that is really helpful. We balance up. Then I always look for projects for them. How can they be kind? Okay, this one they need something. Can we donate something? This one, so you have to be actively involved now. Okay, to find create the environment for them to become a good person. Okay, because sometimes I also notice when they are too involved in certain things, sometimes they change because the environment shape them that way. So I have to sometimes bring them back. Okay, bring them back the way they talk, because that's how their classmates talk. Then they get absorbed in that energy now. So sometimes I have to bring them back, and okay, let's and I have to explain to them this. We are a Dharma inspired family. These kind of things we do not do. This kind of things why we do not do, and I explain to them, and they know. Oh yeah. Sometimes then they also realize, create the opportunity for them to do good. Create the opportunity for them to do good. That is also one of the things that I think will balance out a lot of things. Okay, in life.
Thank you, Brother Mitra.
Carry on from Brother Mitra. I want to stress when he says that developing the heart, that's very important, because kids from last time until now, we have been trained slowly to try to get our happiness from outside, because parents will say, oh, you get A's, oh, that's very good. You managed to get this, that's very good. So we have been slowly brainwashed that happiness comes from outside. But like I mentioned, our default setting, it's already there's love, happiness. So we have to maintain this development of heart when the kids grow up, which society neglect this part. This is a very important part that Brother Mitra pointed out.
Yes, Bante. A practice of acknowledging that we are good enough, or we are beings of love and joy and abundance, as opposed to seeking outside for validation, for love, approval, and also all the temporary pleasures of life. No?
And it will solve the parents a lot of problem. Because when kids try to get this, get that, and try to experiment or to get their happiness, they will get into a lot of unwholesome things. So if you teach them that they already have what they are seeking, you solve a lot of problems.
Yes, Bante. Thank you for sharing that. So we will move to the next question. Yeah. Question, this is by an anonymous person. The question is, lately I try bringing in the attitude of being a manager to parenting practices, like what Venerable mentioned about description. I have been giving instructions or orders to my children. Is there any advice on switching or juggling between our mindset from work attitudes or behaviors that we do not want to be in parenting?
I don't get it clearly, but if she's trying to manage the kids, it doesn't work. They have to be, like what Brother Mitra said, also we have to grow, we have to explore with them. We have to encourage their curiosity. So not manage the kids. And that way, it's less fun. If you're managing the kids, it's less fun. If you are exploring, trying to learn together with them, it's much more fun the other way. So how to switch is, you basically have to switch your mindset.
It's like having fun versus coming home to do work again and manage the family and children. I think speaking of this, maybe I'd like to hear from Sister Mian also,
Yes, I was about to jump in. Yeah. So to me, it's actually exactly the same. Workplace and family is exactly the same. But the challenge is our workplace environment has also been very unhealthy. So you can imagine, the working parents, 8 to 10 hours, being influenced at workplace, which is very driven, very achievement orientated, a lot of unhealthy practices. So therefore, that carry back, it's the same way, the manager function in the office, the same manager will actually function at home. So, so if you have been a leader, I switch my tone now, not manager. If you have been a leader leading your employees, you will be a leader in your parenting, where a leader's behavior is facilitating, encouraging, collaborating, So instead of instructing, complaining, nagging, managers also nag, it's the same. It's the same pattern of behavior. So that's our exact challenges, because our thoughts, feeling, and behavior, this whole system is running all the time. So you cannot compartmentalize that this is work, I need to be a manager. Then when I'm home, I need to be a loving parent. It doesn't work that way. So what is important is go back to the basic, to cultivate ourselves, with a healthy attitude and practice as a person. Then with this healthy attitude and practice as a person, it will translate in our parenting, in our couples relationship, and in our workplace relationship. Either we are a leader or even if we are just an individual contributor. So it's still going back to that basic of us. Our homework is trying our best. Trying our best to cultivate all these virtue, attitude, practices that's healthy for us. And we embody them in every part of our life. We don't compartmentalize workplace, this one. But what's happening now is all jumbled up. The workplace stress, the home stress, doesn't matter which one comes first, but it's affecting each other. So then that's why it's the explosion of all the anxiety, depression, the burnout. So that's my comment.
Thanks, Ms. Mian. So what I'm hearing is there's no need to compartmentalize in terms of workplace and home, but it's more like looking at leadership instead of management. So I think when we talk about leadership and how we lead, I think this style of leadership has changed over the decades or so. I think now we are in the era where a lot of people are advocating leading with empathy, leading with curiosity, and leading with vulnerability from the heart. So that's also kind of what we've been sharing in the last hour, 2 hours.
Karine, it has never changed. Buddha has been the greatest leader of all time, but we never learn. That's our problem, right? Buddha has always been the empathetic, compassion, the wisdom that he imparts, very skillful. With multiple creative skills. So, but like I say, mankind, there's a challenge is that, we have not learned and practiced Buddha's leadership, in our, personal life, family life, and workplace life. So I always love when all these management guru come up with all these, like you say, so sophisticated term, but actually, Buddha has been modeling that for all of us, for so many years. Please go back to our basic. So I think today's forum, let's drive back to some of the basic practices itself. Sorry, that's my a bit of a nagging and
all good.
A reminder.
It's true. So it's just that simple. It's not complicated. Come back to the bare basics and learn from the Buddha. and how he lead. Okay, thank you, Sis Mian, Bante. Let's move to the next question, yeah? So we have a question from Sister Joyce Tan. Bante, since birth is suffering, and do you think it is right that we encourage our adult children not to have children in their lifetime? Big question.
Birth is suffering if you don't understand how samsara works. Okay, when Buddha said birth is suffering, it's because we have an idea of a self. Our suffering don't comes from birth. Our suffering comes from a self being born. So you don't solve the problem by asking everyone not to give birth. You solve the problem by getting everyone to realize that there is no permanent self in the first place. So you got to solve the problem correctly. If you understand that there's no permanent self, then your problems is a lot reduced. Even though you are not enlightened yet, but it's a lot reduced. Do you realize that all our problems come from the I identity? My body is in pain. He insulted my dignity. He talked bad about me. My enemy is trying to give me problems. All comes from I, my, and so on. And strangely, this I and my don't exist because there's no permanent self. Yesterday's Nyaninda is today's Nyaninda is not the same. So that's where the problem comes. If they can put a bit more effort to see that the so-called, we think that the permanent self don't exist, actually we become more limitless. We are all limited by, okay, I am a bit stupid, I'm not so good at direction. That was your yesterday's you. Today you is different. Every minute you is different. So I don't think it's appropriate to ask people not to give birth. This one is depending on cause and conditions. Yeah, so there's no should or should not in here. The more appropriate is to try to get people to understand how the universal law works. Then you can live according to the universal law and help many more people.
Thanks, Bante. So we will move to the next question. This is a question by Brother W.H. Chan to any of the speakers. So go through the question first, yeah? I believe in what Bante said. Do what I do, not do what I ask you to do. This is the difference between prescription and description, I think. But there are many parents who have bad characteristics and habits, are abusive, temperamental, selfish, even to their spouse and children. So how do the children or spouse have better lives, family lives?
Sister Mian?
Yeah, I was going to say that let us also be mindful, what we are sharing today, are applicable, generally, for parents and family in general. But when there's a family or there's a parent or a couple that has more complicated mental health issue, and like what the example was given, there are many layers to that aggression and abusiveness and so on and so forth. Therefore, we have to be careful, and not applying, some of these universal practices that we are talking about into this family. I think what is more important is the person, be it the father or mother that is having the mental health issue, need to go and resolve it, be it working on the aggression, the abusiveness, and depending on the deep severity of the issue, that's another set of managing or coping that we have to do, rather than applying all these general universal good parenting principle into this family, because it will not work. Because that is very clear that one person in the family really need more special attention or even treatment. That's one. I want to see that. So and of course it's very complicated too to get the person in trouble to go for treatment at times. That's where the other spouse and children will struggle. So therefore it comes back to, first, of course, I'm a mental health professional. So naturally I will really facilitate, advocate and push for treatment rather than just avoiding or running away from the person in trouble. So but I know too, getting treatment is another journey by itself. So the other side, the children and the spouse, therefore will have to really assess the situation. If the abusiveness is so serious that they are in danger of being hurt, so therefore they must do something, including running away and seeking shelter. That's for real. If your life is in danger by that aggressive person, the abusive person, so you need to do that as a first step. So but nevertheless, so it's a very complicated assessment that need to be done for this family. So please do not apply this general healthy principle practices that we have been talking about this morning. And then you say it cannot fit into this family. Naturally it cannot fit, because there is a mental health issue or mental health challenges that's very serious that need to be treated. That's how I will respond to it. I can't do more detail, because this is a big group.
Let me just add something. This is again, like I said, it's a general statement. That means those serious cases, you need to probably seek for advice and deeper treatment or whatever. But a general statement is like most of us, we like those tuning in, we are parents, right? We are parents, and we ourselves sometimes we know certain of the practices are not so healthy that we practice. Sometimes we ourselves do that. So I would like to bring you to this term, be a transition figure. Be a transition figure. You have seen that certain practices may be carried down from generation to generation, which is not healthy. So you have learned the good things, sometimes whatever has been said. Be the person. That means like given an example, for example, how previously some of my relatives, how they so-called manage their children is by fear, a lot of fear. So if you want to become a transition figure, I'm not going to use fear as a tool to manage my children. I cut off this bad habit. Be a transition figure. I cut off this habit. I'm going to motivate them. In fact, I'm going to create an environment for them to bloom. Rather than for them to bloom, we threaten them. We create a lot of fear in them. We create a lot of fear motivation. Okay. So be a transition figure. Those of you are tuning in. Okay, you see what are the things that can be changed. Be the transition figure. So that is my advice. That you have learned that what we have talked, have listened to a lot of Dharma talk, you have read a lot of Dharma books. Then be the transition figure. Okay, don't expect other people to change. We look within and see what can I do in my family. Okay, maybe I've been using too much of this fear because it has been for tradition. All the generation are using this fear to motivate them to whatever. So can I do something about it? And I become a transition figure. Once you become a transition figure, the whole chain of that habit now is being cut off already. So once you do it, your children will also do it. That is my advice. My advice I would like to give: be a transition figure. Sometimes we cannot change a lot of things out there. We can change within our family unit, within ourselves.
Adding on to Brother Mitra, this is exactly like how we help family or parents in multi-generational family therapy. So I seek training in this area and I find it fascinating. And the multi-generational effect on us today. We want to acknowledge and respect and forgive. Yeah, we can't undo the previous generation. Yeah, but this generation, if we can do something about it, yeah, that's where the transformation, being the transformation figure that Brother Mitra talked about. But I need to let you know too, yeah, it may not be simple. What we say today seems very simple, but because I do family therapy, I know family counseling, yeah, sometimes you need external guidance or facilitation to help you to see the different generational entanglement. And only when you have that insight or you see the pattern or the root cause, then only, it makes sense to you to transform or to change. Because if you don't see it, yeah, therefore, then you struggle. Yeah. So again, yeah, that's another layer of homework, for parents to do, to learn to understand. And we have two family, or multiple family trees coming into our life, It's not as simple as just you and I, and our children. Yeah, but observe the pattern, especially the unhealthy one. Are we also carrying it? And I can tell you definitely. That's why in family therapy research, it has been found, yeah, the same pattern repeat again and again. That's why one of the Buddha's guidance, that support the children in the marriage part. Yeah, hopefully we are wise, yeah, to facilitate and guide our children not to repeat what has been happening in the previous generation, especially if it's chaos marriage, yeah, or family, yeah. So that's multi-generation family counseling, just a very brief sharing, yeah. So, but it is important to acknowledge that.
Thanks, Sister Mian and Brother Mitra. Bante, just wondering if there's anything you'd like to share as well. Yeah. So we've heard from both Brother Mitra and Sister Mian on this question. Let's move to the next question by Brother MY. So this question is, for a budget and time constrained family, how can we manage the parenting skills successfully?
Maybe do what you can. Start with do what you can. Always start with do what you can. Please don't take Brother Mitra as the benchmark. You'll be stressed out. Sorry, Brother Mitra. Yeah, but Brother Mitra and Sister Selena, I'm very sure, yeah, many years of commitment and hard work. Please don't start, with that, start with where you are. Yeah, where you are, that's very important. Yeah, so the most important is start it.
Okay, to be a good parent or practice good parenting skills, it's just like a Chinese bamboo tree. You have to keep on doing it. Sometimes like a bamboo tree, yeah. Okay, for 5 years you keep on nurturing it, you keep on putting in water, whatever. You take care of it. You don't see much result. After the 5 years, it grew about within 10 months or 1 year. It grew about 80 feet high. That is my advice. Keep on doing. Even you don't see that much result, just keep on. It doesn't need a lot of money. One thing for sure. I have simplified my life also to the extent. I mean, when I was in the corporate, it's very different. See, right now because I'm my own, so it's not so much about money. Yes, don't take as money. Parenting is the environment that you create. When you talk about money, it will never end one. We talk about the environment that we create for our children, for them to bloom. And as parents, I always take it for our responsibility is to look out for good things for them to showcase their skills, their talent. That is my responsibility. I will just look out. So when I go into the Facebook, internet, it's useful. I don't go other side. I go in and see what are these people doing. What are the techniques? What is new in the market? So this one, then I say, hey, can I apply? Can my children join these kind of things? Then they are quite independent. So any problem or anything, they'll come back to us. I don't have to go and because many years of doing that lah. It's not 1, 2 years. It's many years of doing that. So they are quite independent. It doesn't cost a lot of money. Of course, time. You need to allocate time. It's sometimes you have to choose lah. There's no other choice. I can tell you that you have to make a conscious decision. Because the one I cannot help you. Time is time. You have to put in effort. You have to put in effort. Money is not so much an issue, but the time, the effort needs to put in. The way I see it.
Thanks, Brother Mitra. It's Mian. So do the best you can based on the time and budget you have. What I'm hearing is do the best that you can. Okay, so the next question is by Der. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So Der is asking, Brother Mitra, how does homeschooling affect a child's social skills among their peers? Skills often learned in a classroom environment.
Okay, it's the DER, is it the?
Yeah, it's DER.
Okay. This is a very common question. Common question. Through all my years of unschooling, I don't want to use homeschooling, unschooling. People ask this question: socialization, whether they have the skills to socialize. Maybe it's very hard for me to convince you. You go into their video and you see how they talk. Then you go into their video and you see how they socialize with the adults. Then I think it will be a better example than I explained to you. Actually, in fact, they are very confident because they speak to adults. They are very. The other thing is, so I noticed that their thinking skill is quite advanced in the sense that their thinking skills, the way how they talk. And like I said, when we are unschooled that time, we always bring them out to socialize. Okay, socialize and like during the pandemic at time, they wanted to start their talk show. So they go and talk to people from overseas. Overseas, they talk from people to overseas, and they talk to entrepreneurs, change makers from overseas, because their aspiration to become change maker. They want to inspire creativity and change mindset. At this age, they already told me this is what they want to do, and in their talk they always bring up this one. Okay, if we can do it, y'all can do it. They put like that now. That sense that and since they have been. Two of them have gone to school because they go to school because they won a scholarship okay, to go to the international school. And we noticed that, in fact, the teacher said they are leaders. All the discussion they lead in the classroom, group meeting they talk, they lead. Okay, and I think that is because they have been brought up in an environment now, they are not afraid to make mistakes. I encourage them, make mistakes, okay. Just see how we can rectify it, we can improve on it. Most of the students, we notice that they don't want to say anything because they are so afraid they get it wrong. They want to be perfect. And end up a lot of them don't talk anything because their confidence level is so low, or they scared they'll be ridiculed, they scared they make mistake. And end up because I believe they will kind of, when they go out in the corporate world, it's challenging for them when they don't speak up. I notice, which I believe. In fact, this is one of the solutions where we can build their confidence level. Let them. It's okay to make mistake now. Don't be a perfect. Don't strive for perfection. That's why I always say, I always admire their effort. When they do something, I praise them. It's not so much the end result. the effort. They put in the effort. So they become motivated when the effort. Sometimes we are so focused on result alone, then we push away all the effort. I think that is not very skillful. Praise them on the effort, not just the result. Okay, I hope I get it. I emphasize on this point. I think it's so crucial because I have been running student program for many years, and the sad thing is, I've been running for Buddhist Society 1 year, a few student camp, and I notice year after year, I ask the student just to come up to introduce their name, their age, their hobby. Just a very simple thing. And I notice a lot of them dare not do that because they fear of making mistake and their parents want perfection. Let me share with you one case, a sad case. Last time I was doing a corporate training when I was doing student and I was doing it in another country. One of the session was we write a card to parents. Thank you for taking care of me. Whatever they want to express. Thank you for being a good mother, father. Thank you for taking care. Thank you for sending to me to this camp. I did not coach them on that. I said, you just write to your parents what you want. You express yourself. So we give them a color pencil, whatever what they want, the heart shape or whatever, give them. Free flow. You do what you want. This, when the parents come, give this card to them. As an appreciation. A lot of our parents receive this card, they're so happy. Oh, my children now write to me. Oh, it's so good. At least they express themselves because sometimes because we are in a traditional family where we don't express ourselves and there's somebody right there. And I also noticed one sad case. When this girl, I think about 9 or 10 years old, give to the parents. The parents open up the card. Who teach you this English one? Why are so many mistakes inside? My heart sank. It's so much effort for the child just to write that card to the parents. And the context is wrong. They reprimand because they want perfect language, they want perfect English. That is not the right thing. I heard that's not skillful. Because the children have expressed themselves, embrace it and thank them because they have given the card to them, because it's not easy for the children to express themselves in a society like us. My heart sank actually that day. I wasn't feeling good. I said, hey, that is the paradigm they come from. The paradigm that they come from. Not skillful. So they need to adjust their IC. They need to really relook at the whole thing. What's the purpose of this thing? The purpose is wrong. The context is all wrong already. Okay? So I would like us also. Sometimes we have been conditioned that way. We want perfection. We want that. We always talk about KPI or get this done. How many percent and all this kind of thing. Slow down, my friend. Slow down. Slow down. Look within, and praise them. And they you see, you need to inspire them. You need to praise them. You need to cooperate with them. You cannot talk down on them. No more. It won't work. It won't work. And you can talk them. You can control them at a certain extent. When they go for further studies, and then the thing all change again. So if you can give them the guidance when they are treasure the time that they will be with you. Okay, they come to you but do not belong to you. They come to you, give them the best, create the environment for them to bloom. Okay, when they go out there, they will come back to you. Definitely, they come back to you. Don't have to control. Create the kind of environment for them to unleash their potential, to grow, to become a better human being.
Thanks, Brother Mitra. So it sounds to me like these social skills, there's always been, when I hear about homeschooling, usually there's always a question about, concern about whether the students will develop the social skills required or not, and things like this is a common question, and it's also a common misconception that I think Brother Mitra has cleared. And I think from your perspective, Brother Mitra, what I'm hearing also is that sometimes the social skills and the ability to speak up and to express, to voice up, has more to deal with, not so much to deal with the peers, but also to deal with the upbringing or how the child is raised, whether the child is raised to feel good enough for their effort and not so much the results. What I hear is about the growth mindset, which is something that Bante Nyaninda mentioned earlier, how we can encourage our children to know that what they seek is within. That they are good enough. Something Sister Mian talked about as well. Instead of reaching out for results and achievements, and encouraging your children by encouraging the effort, acknowledging the effort. So that's what I think Brother Mitra is sharing also. So maybe we can move to the next question. Yes, the next question is by Sister Hu, Sui Min. Many
Karen,
parents...
I suggest you skip, because Sister Hu's question, we have been answering a few. So let's give the other people who have asked question. This is the same Sister Hu, right?
Yes,
same Sister So shall we skip that question and go to the next one? Yeah, so that our other audience can ask question too. I noticed Sister Hu has asked several questions.
Okay. Considering the time, I think that's a good suggestion.
And a lot more questions down the chat box.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Sister Hu, let us address some of the other questions from other audience first. Yeah, hope you don't mind. Maybe we'll move to the next question by Sis Irene Tam. So it can be very challenging as parents to learn and unlearn with AI, artificial intelligence, I think, taking over in educating the present younger generation. How do we as parents incorporate Dharma in educating our children in the AI format? I think that's this question from Sister Irene. I think there's also a related question. Okay. So in addition to that, I think it's by Sister Irene and Brother Ko Wei Ken. Okay, about the AI. So the next question is, how do parents help children and help themselves respond to elements of violence, vulgarity, sexuality, substance abuse, and so on? When we talk about this AI, exposure to AI. Let's see. Maybe we can hear from Bante. How do we as parents incorporate the Dharma in educating our children?
Answer regarding the second one about being influenced or negative influences. One way is like what Brother Mitra says, you develop the heart. If we already have the love inside us, we won't try to seek from outside. Substance abuse, all that comes from because not enough love. We are seeking love from outside. So actually, you don't treat substance, let's say alcohol, as the problem. Alcohol is the solution to the problem of not enough love. If you see what is the real problem, then you can solve it at the root cause, which is you can develop the heart. And just a short, a bit radical idea on this AI. Actually, we think AI is something very radical, but actually, we are actually AI because there's no self. Every moment is all the different conditionally come together that produce this Nyaninda. So every moment we are an AI actually. So AI is not a problem because we are AI if you understand Buddhism. There is no permanent self. Okay.
It's actually mind-blowing also. There is no self. And so at any moment...
But there's no self doesn't mean there is nothing. Yeah, it's just like AI, there is no like a thing in AI, but you can't say there's nothing. A lot of things is happening.
Thanks, Bante. So we're discussing about this. Just maybe before we move to the next question, shall I invite Sister Mian or Brother Mitra if there's anything you'd like to add on also to respond to the question.
I mean, AI, of course, has something to do with computer, internet. Okay. During the pandemic, the last 2 years, I noticed we spend a lot of time on the internet. Okay, almost the whole day. So, being a parent, I'm also very concerned. Young that time, this is how my methodology of them to not to be addicted to screen time was very clear. I always bring them out to nature, to do social work, everything. Because I after dealing with so many parents and children for many years, I know when I talk to them, the main complaint is they're addicted to screen time. They're addicted to screen time. So as a parent, I also very concerned. So when they're young at time, I really make a very conscious choice. Okay, during the weekend, at least I go out to do something good. Take them. So I also don't know equipment, only our handphone. I also don't take up my handphone. So when we are involved totally in the project. So they don't go and look for games to play or whatever. So this is one of my ways of to let not get addicted to a handphone or iPad or whatever. The screen time. So this is one of my ways. But the last 2 years, they are a lot on screen, a lot of hours. So I have I need to think of another game plan. Okay, another game plan in order to make sure that they use the internet skillfully. But one thing also, I'm not sure, I'm very blessed because if they will tell me sometimes, hey, how come I so violent? They have come because of many years lah. This is violent and sometimes when they see certain YouTube channel where they use words which are not polite or vulgar words, they'll switch off and go to another channel. They have already that don't have to take care already. That they already know mature enough to take care. But I noticed there are a lot of time on the internet because I cannot bring them out everything. It's okay. So what I did was I talked to them. Let's have a challenge. Can you make full use of the internet rather than just playing games? So what? We sit down and brainstorm. What can I do? Okay, talk show. Let's invite speaker and you interview them. That's where you learn, isn't it? They wanted to learn. You want to learn how this speaker, become like that. So you interview them, you formulate questions, we can write to them and we have our talk show. One thing. Second thing is, I said, can you be a creator rather than a consumer? I asked them. They asked me, what do I mean? Can you be a creator rather than a consumer? They asked me, what do you mean? Make use of, you can use, I'm not stopping you, because I don't use the stopping method now, lock out the computer, no. I use, you can use, no stopping, but make sure use it usefully. So, okay, can you create games for people now? Since your coding skills is very good, can you go into create games where people can play, people are happy, and overall our games is family friendly games. Yes, they say it can. So they go into it, then I look up for a competition for them to join. So when they are inside competition, they are in the zone. They're in the zone. They want to work very hard to show their best. So this is one of the way that you cannot fight with this kind of thing. So you have to think of how do you blend it and turn it to something skillful, the way I see it. You log in, actually use like some of them, I noticed some of my friends, they close the internet, then they borrow from their friends one. I don't know how they do it. They are very skillful, they know what to do. So it's a futile kind of where you're banging your head against the wall when you start doing like that. So you have to think of a very skillful way for them, beneficial to them, beneficial to you, and beneficial to people looking at it.
And how you've done it, instead of prohibiting them to do something, you have kind of like very subtly transfer their interest. You know, you identify their interest first. Interest, passion, their multiple intelligence you mentioned, right? Okay, you transfer the energy to something else, to creating something. So they still use internet, they still use YouTube and things like that, but they create a talk show or maybe coding or something else. So it's kind of like diverting the energy lah. You know,
then
towards healthier activities.
Classes. They in fact start doing a lot of classes online, and they reach out not just to local people. They reach out to the world. Then they start teaching coding. They start 2D animation. They teach people how to use Facebook, how to get people to subscribe. All those kind of things. So it's a kind of a challenge I give to them, but in a very subtle way, and they feel excited because of that exciting this project, and something is aligned to what they want to do, and they use it usefully. They don't break the precept. That's very important.
All right. Thanks a lot, Brother Mitra. I hope that was helpful for parents who are wondering how to handle this. It's common, you know, I'm hearing from parents also, my children are using so much digital devices now, YouTube lah, non-stop, don't know what they're doing. So maybe this is something you can try as a parent as well. It's a project together as a team. Okay, so let's move to the next question. This is a question by Brother Wu. When our kids grow up into teenagers, we have to change our role, become a friend to them rather than being the authority parents at all times. Do speakers agree with my opinion?
I think you have to start young, not just teenagers. From young, you have to explore, like what we have been talking about. You have to explore together with them with curiosity, not parents teaching them, not just when they're teenagers, from young.
Again and again, I've seen a lot of cases when I because I've been involved in this work for many years, I've seen you have to start them very young. Then you have then after that, they self-regulate. So if you start them by when they are teenager, honestly, I think it's a bit too late. Hard lah. I won't say cannot do anything. It's much more harder. You have to put in a lot of effort. You have to have a lot of pain because they tend to be more outspoken. They listen to their friends more than they listen to their parents. Those kind of things. See, so it'll be good to if your children are young, just start them already. Start them. I mean, if your parents, your children are now teen like that, you more challenging. Honestly, I can tell you, because they once they are into certain thinking pattern, is more challenging. So you have to think of work where you can blend their interests with some project, some project like can you code a game, Dharma game, something like that now. Certain things you have to think a bit deeper already. Okay, but start them young. I noticed through my years, I noticed if you start them young, then when they are teenagers, it's okay one. I mean, they will know what to do. They'll be a kind person. They'll be a human being, a proper human being with dignity, with compassion, with wisdom also. If you start them young, okay. If you are at teenage now, never too late to start lah. You have to do something. You just don't let the forces that are out in the market to take them. Once you take them, very hard to take them back. The way I see it. Once the other forces are very strong out there, consumerism, a lot of things are out there. Okay? So if you're not trained, you are not trained in managing your senses. It's very easy to be sucked into the kind of system out there. So you have to do something lah. Like I said lah, do consistently. Even they don't like it, you think of a way how to do it for a time period until they know that you meant well.
May I add in? You don't have to struggle alone. I have a different perspective. No matter how bad the situation is now, I don't want the parents of teenager or young adult that's struggling with your teenager or adult children Yeah. So to feel sad, I should have started then young. Yeah. So whatever it is, what I want to advocate here, also remember, yeah, reach out to other parents, friends. Maybe they can guide you. Or please, for goodness sake, reach out to professional, right? And this is where we are trained. Yeah, we are really trained to assess the situation, yeah, to facilitate the transformation between you and your children. Yeah. So, and unfortunately, the stigma of going for a family counseling is so strong. Yeah. Same with individual or couple counseling. But this is where instead of struggling, and then the worst part is that we give up. Yeah. And then we let the situation go on and on. But actually, there is still possible way, no matter how bad. That's why just now, even the abusive or aggressive husband, there are still ways that we can help. But this is where the reaching out, yeah, for professional help is something that I urge the community to really rethink and brave yourself to actually get professional help. Yeah. So, or whatever it is, yeah. So please don't give up. That's my message.
Thanks, Sis Mian. Brother Mitra. Okay, so we'll move to the next question. Okay, I'd like to also be mindful of time. We are 5 minutes towards 11:30, and we have 2 more questions. So I think I better check with all of the speakers first. All 3 of you. Is it okay if we continue and just finish up these 2 questions before we wrap up? Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, so second last question from Sis Joyce Tan. To all speakers, for adult children that have misgivings about the parents and refuse to talk to parents, the parents can only send loving kindness and wish him well. Are there any other methods that we can do to help them?
Plenty. Yeah. So like what I say, whatever that happened in the past, whatever conflict, between you and your children, unfortunately, during their younger years, now that they have grown up, they are as adult children now, but unfortunately, the conflict probably unresolved. There's a lot of anger and grudges, yeah, that is still undercurrent, yeah, between you and your children. But this parent who is asking, yeah, you realize already, yes, sending metta, loving kindness at all time to your children can be helpful. But there are so many other ways, yeah, that is especially, yeah, this is where you transform yourself, let go of all the unhealthy part of the relationship. Yeah, you can always start to rebuild healthy relationship with them, even if they do not respond to you because they're still angry, but you persist with now the healthy attitude, the healthy relating with them, even though they don't respond. Yeah, by you walking this new part of the journey where you carry with you this healthy attitude, practices, and behavior, yeah, in time, they can see the changes in you and they will also change. Yeah. So there are a lot of things, yeah, for you to learn new skill, how to communicate more compassionately, yeah, or how to express yourself more proactively. Many things, yeah. So rather than, yeah, I do not want especially our Buddhist community to fall into that passive part, yeah, that by just, that inner spiritual practice. Yeah, it's a good practice, don't get me wrong. Sending loving kindness is a good practice, but you need the proactive part, yeah, to continue to action-based, let them see that you have changed. And hopefully they will also be convinced that Papa and Mama is different now in their old age. Yeah, they may have been bad to me. Yeah, so in these following years, hopefully they will see a different you. That's how I will answer Sister Joy's question.
Thanks, Sis Mian. If there's nothing else to add, I will move to the next question, yeah? Okay, so we have the last question. This is a question to Brother Mitra. How to stop nagging as parents? Not saying anything usually ends up not getting done.
I don't know how to answer because I don't nag. I don't, because I put it as it's not a skillful action when you start nagging. Not a skillful action and start nagging.
So maybe can share
kind of issue where sometimes they don't want to do certain things. I will ask them I mean, is there anything I can help or to make sure that this task is done? I will become more collaborative rather than nag So I find out I want to build the connection Usually I think for a healthy relationship, I think the connection is very important. The loving kindness to your children it's also very important. The compassion to your children is also very important. Okay, because sometimes they go through life, they have certain challenges that sometimes as a parent we need to tone down ourselves and understand why are they acting that way now. Rather than we put on an ego as a parent. I'm a parent. I tell you, do, you must do. We tone down ourselves and see why are they not doing? Is it they think it's not useful? Is it so? I will have a space or discussion with them and ask why. To me, it's very important, but to you, then they tell me their reason. Then we try to find a solution together. Because you keep on nagging, sometimes you go in, go out already. Because they brand new as everything also nag one. That kind of thing. So their mindset is already so I don't want to fall into that kind of environment.
So it's more like seeking to understand Okay, you're not doing the child's not doing what the parent is expecting. So it's understanding. Okay, what's happening here? Why is the child not wanting to do this?
Yes.
Then collaborating as a team. Okay, how can we?
How can we do this together? Or do you think this is not important? Is it not important? We drop it out. To me, I will give my children a voice to share with me what is their thinking, because I respect them as an individual. Even I'm much older, it's okay.
Thank you.
But I want to add on, parents out there, please be self-compassionate. It's not easy to unlearn what we have learned unhealthily. So please, that's why the practice of compassion, especially self-compassion, is essential to cope with challenges, because it is not easy. So if we do not have this space that we allow ourselves, to admit our mistake, to sue ourselves, when we make a mistake, then we're going to be forever struggling. And that's why the nagging come out, because you're still struggling inside. That's why, but the outside behavior is the nagging. But actually, you yourself as parents, you're so painful, you're struggling inside, right? So attend to your own struggle first. Learn to do that first. Then your nagging will go away. But the learning to attend to ourselves, our pain, our struggle, this is something nobody taught us in school, right? So that's why this set of life skill, or actually this is Dharma, right? It's something that hopefully all of us, make it an aspiration, to just continue trying and practicing. And of course, today, by attending this forum, it is already the right effort that all of you come together to learn from each other. So please remember this soft part. I am struggling. So it's not easy. Brother Mitra struggling, you all don't see so many years but today he shared the result of his 2 boys. So but there are a lot of struggle. So please, this one piece I want you to take away.
Thank you, Sister Mian. It's so beautiful. Yes, self-compassion is sometimes underrated. We forget in this course of or trying to do your very best for your children. So we've come towards the end of the session. I think we will now move towards the sharing of merits. Unless maybe Bante or Brother Mitra, you have any concluding remarks that you'd like to share, final insights. If not, we'll just move towards the sharing of merits.
Maybe just give me 1 minute. I find this one very helpful. Start off with looking at within the family. Like for me, I put it as a family mission statement. It can be any other form. But look within the family, what do you want out of this family? Where do we going together? Then list down what are the virtues we practice in our family. You can start off with the 5 precepts, then after that you can go in other things. Okay, what are the things that we do in our family as a unit? Then that's why a lot of projects we do together with the children. They will start off, then if they have any issue, then they will come to us and we try to brainstorm and then throw it back to them and ask them, what do you think? So start with that first. That if you can get that kind of alignment, that kind of unity, then I think that will be very helpful in the family. That kind of mindset. Set that at least correct first. What's the purpose of the family first? That I think with that aspiration, with that vision, then I think you can go very fast.
Thank you, Brother Mitra. Now I will invite Bante to lead us through the sharing of merits.
We share merits with all the devas, all the Dharma protectors, all the guardian deities, all sentient beings, all family member, relative friends, especially departed family member, relative friends, and chasters. May aspiration always with the wise avoid the foolish. Continue to reduce greed, hatred, delusion until we attain Nibbana. And again, at the end, share merits with all beings, wishing each and every single being the equal share merits. Etawata chamehi sampadang punya sampadang sabe dewa numodantu sabba sampati sitya. Etawata chamehi sampadang punya sampadang sabe buta numodantu sabba sampati sitya. Etawata chamehi sampadang punya sampadang sabe sata numodantu sabba sampati sitya. Dame nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idame nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idame nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hotu yawa nibbana patiya. Idame punyang asawa kaya wahang hotu. Idame punyang nibbana sa pacayo hotu. Mama punya bagang sabasatanang pajema. Te sabe me samampunya bagang labantu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Thank you, Bante Nyaninda. Thank you, Brother Mitra. And thank you, Sister Mian, for this really, really insightful and lovely session today. We've come to the end of the talk. To all parents out there, I wish you a wonderful Parents' Day. Enjoy your weekend. And thank you so much for your heart. And it's not easy to be a parent. I can only imagine you're not alone in this journey. Do reach out, as what Sister Mian has said, do reach out if you need any support. And may everyone be well, be healthy, and be at ease. Take care. Sadhu.
Climb the path with gladness in the field of life, vanquishing illusion, ignorance and strife. Brotherhood and service shall our motto be, and the goal before us, truth and liberty. We will teach thy Dharma wheresoever we go. this the greatest lesson by Lord Buddha shown? Forward marching ever in the Dharma's mind, till we lead the nations in